The best time to act on climate change was decades ago, and the second best time is right now. Our Earth is going through global warming. The temperature is increasing. This climate change is real. It is happening right now. And it is the most urgent threat facing by our entire species. And we need to work collectively together and stop procrastinating. Hello and namaste from Pallavi. I welcome you to the podcast Eco Friendly Kind World. And today, in this episode, we have a very special guest, Tabi Joda. He's from West Africa, Sahel region. Let's hear from Tabi his climate action journey. Tabi, so can you tell our listeners about your climate action journey, how you have started, and what has motivated you?
Thank you very much for having me, Pallavi, and I'm also very grateful that you are taking the climate action from your side. And from my side, I am a conservationist and an ecosystem revivalist, also a mentor on the restoration entrepreneurship and working across the entire Sahel region as ambassador for the African Great Green Wall, which you know is the biggest nature wonder all across the world today. They are seeking action and putting of efforts across different divides to bring real transformation on the landscapes in the Sahel, where serious climate impacts are visible and terrifying livelihoods and lives of different people. So this is somehow a very key thing for everyone to know, that there is a great green wall, that we need each one of you to be part of it. And my journey has been informed by my presence in this region that is increasingly warming, increasingly terrified by different climate vulnerabilities, drying springs, a lot of land degradation, scorching earth, hot pans, desertification that is encroaching on the fertile and productive agricultural land, and the loss of pasture for livestock, and a whole lot of ecosystem and biodiversity loss that is creating a whole lot of disproportionate impact on women, youths, and people, especially rural communities. And this is actually impacting lives and right here in where I am. And I shouldn't be blind, I shouldn't be inactive. And that's why I started the journey of thinking what should be the solution. We can't stay in a problem that the solutions are not far-fetched, and then we aren't taking action. That is why I am on ground, mobilizing, connecting, building partnerships and collaborations with different individuals, groups, and communities, in seeing that the landscapes that have been degraded and exacerbated by climate impact are actually getting revived, and these lost water and ecosystem services are getting actually restored to actually bring real climate action on ground.
Rightly said, Tabi. We should not be blind. It's everybody's responsibility to take up climate action. I came across some videos on climate crisis, which has moved me, and then, I decided that as a responsible citizen, it is my duty. I can't just be blind. So, was there something like that with you? Like how you have started?
Yes, thank you, Pallavi. First, like I said initially, I come from the Sahel, and when I grew up seeing my parents and great-grandparents harvesting fish stock from the Lake Chad, and paying school fee for children and siblings, and then when I started approaching adolescence, I realized that these ecosystem resources were shrinking and dwindling by the days, and those resources weren't there anymore. And the questions came to my mind. What's happening? I realized that there was a whole lot of degradation, land degradation, biodiversity loss in this region. So going to the university, I already started something, putting trees together, seedlings, and planting around the community and mobilizing, young folks at the age of 14. I was 12, but I was mobilizing young folks who were far beyond my age at 14, 15, and beyond. And we were already putting these actions together. So I was driven actually by that serious, very obvious challenge, where the lake chart that was previously very large in water volume was reducing, and in size, and also in the quantity of the aquatic life that were present, and how the economic opportunities that it provided were also shrinking. And this affected lives around us. It affected me. It affected my livelihood and other people around me. So it became a very serious reason to act. And I acted, as I said, since from the age of 12. I knew that we needed to restore the landscapes and revive these ecosystems, and maybe rejuvenate the losing or the dying or declining biodiversity by planting and growing more trees, and seeing that we can recharge the lake back to a very fertile and productive one, as well as the landscapes around us, should produce more food, and as well as the pasture, producing more pasture for livestock, which we all depend on.
Yeah, definitely. So, Tabi, okay, that is great. That's how you have started. So, what you are going to say to the people who still have not started, who are still behaving ignorant, who is not realizing still that how our earth is suffering and the climate change is real? What you have to say to them?
Well, first I have to say to people that a lot of people are staying in their comfort zone. Other people are also staying in their ignorant zones, and a whole lot of people are also staying in their cynic zones, and others are staying in their denial zone. All these people constitute part of the problem. So I want to say they are part of the problem. So I want to send a strong call to all these people today to realize and turn their hearts to the reality that we are in an increasingly disturbed climate system that could eventually destroy our own futures. There is no point complaining that you are hungry when you are not doing anything around restoring the degrading landscape or the degrading lost productive land, to make sure that more food or good food is produced. So it is just very simple mathematics and simple common sense of life. If you have an umbrella in your hand, and rain is coming, you need to just open the umbrella and cover yourself. So we have the tools in our hands that we can fight the climate crisis today. It has the tools are science, the tools are knowledge, the tools are our youthful abilities, the tools are our knowledge right now, and the connectivity that we all have, today in this world. So I will say no one should be sitting in the comfort zone. No one should be sitting in the cynic zone. No one should be sitting in the denial or indolence zone. Let's get out of these comfort zones and start taking action, but not action in isolation, but concerted, collaborative action that actually delivers real-time, tangible, and measurable impact on the ground in actually moving from where we are today with the visible effects that we are all seeing, to new nuance and new milestones that can protect us and hold back this climate crisis. And I want to send a very strong message as well to young people out there that I am living a life as an eco-entrepreneur. I'm making a living, I'm making income from supporting and protecting nature. And this is actually keeping me comfortably well. So it is also an opportunity for jobs. It's an opportunity for income. It's an opportunity for reviving, creating employment for the people around you. It's an opportunity for being an innovator. It's an opportunity for being, an entrepreneur or the lead, those who are leading the charge. So I want to say that where I am today didn't come by chance or by some just empty opportunities. We worked for it. I worked so hard. And today I'm an ambassador of the biggest nature asset of the world, the Great Green Wall. And I'm very proud to be doing the responsibility that I am doing. So I'm calling upon young people especially, to turn their hearts from the ignorance and the weaknesses that are keeping them comfort to this hard track that needs serious, serious strength and strength of purpose, to be on the same page with us, reducing this effect and bringing our world to a more sustainable, resilient, and safer situation and state of our lives.
Yeah, very, very well said. And yeah, basically, you should be the change which wish to see in the world, right? I mean, that you have very well quoted the example of the umbrella. If it is raining and you have to protect yourself, then you need to use the umbrella, right? So you are seeing that so many destructions are happening around. The climate is changing, the temperature is increasing, and we are seeing a lot of natural calamities. All those are because of the climate change. So we can't just sit blindly. And your journey is very inspiring, and I hope the youth of this world is getting your message, and they will just start acting on it today. So
Let me just
thank
add.
you so
Let me just
much.
add. Let me just add to this, Pallavi, before we end this, to say that climate action, it's leadership, right? And it's leadership in two ways. That means we need to act as leaders. Wherever you are, you need to be a leader. At the same time, let's also think beyond that, that in our communities, who are the leaders that we are electing in policy or decision-making positions? We should start also changing those ignorances around that. Who is leading? Are our leaders climate conscious? Are they climate deniers or they are climate compliant? So we need to also look at this direction. That creates a holistic approach in building the kind of policy structures and institutions that actually support different efforts and actions at different levels. Because there is no point for people taking actions in isolation. There needs to be a concerted support from the policy system and leadership. So I urge people to be leaders wherever you are by taking responsibility.
Yeah, brilliant. That is a good point. So people have to take that into consideration, right, while appointing the leader. So everybody should be very conscious in whom they are voting for, whom they are idealizing, right, whether they are environmentally conscious or not, because there is a lot of power in the leader's hand, and if there won't be good policies taken up by the leaders, then definitely it is difficult to bring that change. As an individual, we can do our part, but also it is a responsibility of the government and the leaders. A lot of it is in their hand as well. So yeah, that is a good point. So thank you so much, Tabi, for sharing your this insights on climate action, and I hope the youth of the world is going to take climate action today itself. Your journey itself is very inspiring.
Thank you
So,
very much for having me.
yeah, thanks a lot. So, stay tuned for more such climate activist inspiring stories. Thank you.